MMA fans may have to confront a harsh reality: Conor McGregor, the notorious former UFC champion, may never step foot in the Octagon again. Over the past few years, McGregor has tantalized fans with promises of a comeback, but various factors have cast doubt on whether he will actually return to serious competition. From injuries and legal troubles to contractual disputes with the UFC, the obstacles seem insurmountable. This video will explore the reasons why McGregor's return to the UFC appears increasingly unlikely and what the future holds for this polarizing figure in mixed martial arts. The promises of a comeback. For the past 3 years, McGregor has repeatedly vowed to make a triumphant return to the UFC. Each time he has expressed his determination to reclaim his title and compete multiple times a year. In interviews, he has stated, "I want to fight 3 or 4 times a year," emphasizing his desire to be active in the sport. However, despite these declarations, the reality is that McGregor has not fought since July 2021. The last time we saw him in the Octagon, it was a disastrous outing. He suffered back-to-back losses, including a devastating defeat in a trilogy fight against Dustin Poirier. To add insult to injury, McGregor sustained one of the most severe leg injuries in MMA history during that bout, leaving fans questioning whether he would ever return to form. The struggles behind the scenes. Since that fateful night, McGregor has faced numerous challenges that have kept him from returning to the sport he once dominated. The aftermath of his last fight has been marked by a series of obstacles that have hindered his ability to re-enter the Octagon and reclaim his former glory. One of the most pressing issues has been his ongoing legal troubles, which have cast a long shadow over his career. In December 2018, he was accused of sexual assault, a serious allegation that not only damaged his reputation but also raised questions about his character and conduct outside the ring. More recently, he was found liable in a civil case related to these allegations, resulting in a significant financial payout that could have lasting implications for his financial stability. While it appears that McGregor may not face prison time for these allegations, the reputational damage he has sustained is severe and could prove to be far more detrimental in the long run. The fallout from such controversies can linger, affecting public perception and making it difficult for him to regain the level of support he once enjoyed from fans and sponsors alike. As a fighter who has thrived on his persona as both a champion and a charismatic figure, the tarnishing of his image poses a significant barrier to his potential comeback. This situation has placed the UFC in a difficult position, presenting them with a dilemma: can they promote a fighter with such a controversial past? The organization has always been keen on maintaining its brand integrity and ensuring that its fighters embody the values it wishes to project. Promoting McGregor, given his legal troubles and the serious nature of the allegations against him, raises ethical questions that the UFC must grapple with. They must consider whether the financial benefits of having McGregor back in the Octagon outweigh the potential backlash from fans, sponsors, and partners who may be uncomfortable supporting an organization that aligns itself with someone facing such serious allegations. As the UFC navigates this complex landscape, the future of McGregor's career hangs in the balance. The organization must weigh the risks and rewards carefully, knowing that their decision will not only impact McGregor's career but also reflect on the UFC's values and its commitment to promoting fighters who represent the sport positively. The outcome of this dilemma will be crucial in shaping the trajectory of both McGregor's future and the UFC's brand in the coming years. In addition to legal woes, McGregor's lifestyle has raised eyebrows. Many speculate that his wealth and fame have led him to prioritize partying over training. The notion that he has too much money to care about fighting has circulated among fans and analysts alike. This perception further complicates the possibility of his return, as it raises questions about his commitment to the sport. The UFC's position. While there have been rumors of a potential fight against Michael Chandler in mid-2024, those plans fell through when McGregor reportedly broke his toe. This incident only adds to the narrative that McGregor's return is fraught with obstacles. The UFC has made it clear that they do not expect him to fight in 2024, leading to speculation about the organization's intentions. One theory suggests that the UFC is holding McGregor hostage under his contract. With 2 fights remaining on his deal, McGregor's star power is a valuable bargaining chip in the UFC's negotiations for a new TV deal. The organization is set to renegotiate its broadcasting rights in late 2025, and having McGregor available for fights could significantly enhance their negotiating position. However, allowing him to fight now would diminish that leverage. As the UFC navigates these complex negotiations with broadcasters like ESPN and Disney, the question remains, will they be willing to promote McGregor given the surrounding controversies? The answer is far from certain. The impact of legal troubles. McGregor's legal issues have not only affected his reputation but have also led to a significant loss of sponsorships and partnerships that were once a cornerstone of his financial success. As a high-profile athlete, McGregor had built a lucrative portfolio of endorsements with major brands across various industries. However, in light of his ongoing legal battles and the serious allegations against him, many of these brands are becoming increasingly hesitant to associate with him. The potential for negative publicity associated with his name is a substantial risk that companies are unwilling to take, especially in an era where public perception can significantly impact a brand's image. For instance, his whiskey brand, Proper 12, which was once a source of pride and a lucrative venture for McGregor, has distanced itself from him amid the controversy. This decision reflects a broader trend among other companies that have chosen to sever ties with the fighter. As sponsors pull back, McGregor faces a stark reality: the financial implications of losing these endorsements could severely impact his overall financial standing. The income generated from these partnerships was not only a significant part of his earnings but also helped bolster his public persona as a successful entrepreneur and athlete. The loss of these endorsements can have a cascading effect on McGregor's brand image. Without the backing of major companies, he risks being viewed as a liability rather than an asset in the sports world. This shift in perception can further alienate potential sponsors who might have considered partnering with him in the future. As a result, McGregor may find himself in a precarious position, needing to re-establish his brand and credibility in a market that is increasingly wary of his controversies. Moreover, the financial strain from losing sponsorships can exacerbate the challenges McGregor faces. Legal fees, potential payouts from lawsuits, and the costs associated with maintaining his lifestyle may put additional pressure on him to seek out high-paying fights, potentially outside of the UFC. Thus, the intertwining of his legal troubles and financial health creates a complex scenario where his future in the sport, and his ability to bounce back, hinges on more than just his performance inside the octagon. The road ahead will require careful navigation as he attempts to rebuild both his reputation and his financial stability in an industry that can be unforgiving. Moreover, McGregor faces a lawsuit from his former training partner, Artem Lobov, who claims he was promised a stake in Proper 12. If McGregor loses this case, it could result in a significant financial blow, further complicating his situation. With mounting legal fees and potential payouts, McGregor may find himself in a position where he needs to seek the biggest paydays possible, which are unlikely to come from the UFC. The future of Conor McGregor. As McGregor approaches his late 30s, the window for a successful return to the octagon is closing rapidly. While he may still have financial resources, the toll of his legal issues and the physical demands of MMA weigh heavily on him. The sport is unforgiving, and the longer he stays out of competition, the harder it will be for him to regain his former glory. If McGregor does decide to fight again, it may not be in the UFC. The landscape of combat sports is evolving, with lucrative opportunities in boxing and influencer fights. McGregor could potentially earn 5 to 10 times what the UFC is willing to offer him by exploring these avenues. The allure of high-profile boxing matches, especially after his bout with Floyd Mayweather, could be too enticing for him to resist. The role of the UFC. The UFC's role in McGregor's future cannot be overlooked. As the premier organization in mixed martial arts, the UFC has a significant impact on the careers of its fighters, especially those who have achieved superstar status like McGregor. Historically, the UFC has shown a willingness to make exceptions for major stars, understanding that their appeal can greatly enhance the organization's visibility and profitability. McGregor's unique charisma, fighting style, and ability to draw massive crowds have positioned him as one of the biggest draws in the sport's history. His presence in the Octagon not only generates substantial pay-per-view sales but also attracts mainstream attention, elevating the UFC's profile in the broader sports landscape. Despite the controversies that have surrounded him, ranging from legal issues to serious allegations, the potential for financial gain remains a compelling reason for the UFC to consider his return. If the UFC can find a way to navigate the complexities of McGregor's situation, balancing the need for responsible promotion with the desire for profit, they might see an opportunity to bring him back for a fight. This would involve careful consideration of public perception, sponsor relationships, and the overall impact on the UFC's brand image. Ultimately, the UFC must assess whether the potential revenue from a McGregor fight outweighs the risks associated with promoting a fighter who has faced serious allegations. The decisions made in this context will shape not only McGregor's future but also the UFC's trajectory in the coming years. However, the UFC is also a business, and they must weigh the risks and rewards of promoting a fighter with such a tarnished reputation. The reality is that the organization has a responsibility to its sponsors, partners, and fans. Promoting a fighter found liable for sexual assault poses significant reputational risks, and the UFC must consider whether they are willing to take that chance. Conclusion. In conclusion, Conor McGregor's return to the UFC remains uncertain, with numerous factors working against him. His legal troubles, lifestyle choices, and the UFC's business considerations all contribute to a complex situation that leaves fans questioning whether they will ever see him compete in the Octagon again. While McGregor may continue to promise a comeback, the reality is that the obstacles he faces are formidable. As time goes on, the likelihood of McGregor returning to serious competition in the UFC decreases. The sport has evolved, and the landscape is changing. Whether he chooses to fight again, and where that fight may take place, remains to be seen. For now, MMA fans may have to accept that the days of Conor McGregor dominating the Octagon may be behind him, leaving a legacy that is both celebrated and controversial.